You think you know me?
On this day, you surely heard that the best wrestler to ever live returned to World Wrestling Entertainment. No, he's racist. No, the real best wrestler of all time, Edge, Adam Copeland, has returned to the company for one night. Either way,
with a terrible beard too, I might add.
I loved his beard so much. I wanted to sleep in it.
What? He looks like he hadn't shaved in 5 years, and he never left the log cabin in the mountains he lives in the middle of nowhere.
That's exactly what happened. That's pretty... You know, he lives in Asheville, North Carolina. It's the mountains up there. It's actually really beautiful.
I'm well aware of that, yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the 61st episode, the one devoted to Adam Copeland himself. Yes?
I'm so glad now that he's gone, we have a wrestler doing a real version of the spear, Roman Reigns.
15,000 puppies were slaughtered as soon as you said that. Look at you.
Oh my God.
You just made Michael Vick great again with that statement. Either way.
I just made the list.
You have to admit, though, even though you're not an Edge head like I am, or are you? Are you?
Oh, I like Edge. Yeah, I do. I like Edge and Christian both.
You have to admit, the guy can cut a promo with his eyes closed, which is impressive. And they didn't give him a script. I'm sure they gave him a couple things to promote, like Fantasy Warfare, which seemed kind of forced. But after that, he was... Here's the thing, and his return will make me mark out no matter what, kind of like you and Hulk. No matter what he does, I will love to death, and I mean that literally. He's my favorite of all time, and no one will ever come close. Punk is like a far second, and you know how much I like Phil. Yeah. They should have let Edge go off on like a good promo about defending SmackDown's honor, reminiscent of the Brock Lesnar John Cena promo that Edge cut right before his contract ended. After he retired, that would have been a lot more beneficial for his time. Even though I thought it was well done and timely, and it didn't go on for too long, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed his presence. I thought he added a lot, and to get a figure like him before Taker showed up, I thought it was a well executed segment. So I loved him being there. I think he added a lot to it.
Yeah, he also buried the height of the current talent, I thought, pretty well.
Well, how tall is Edge? 6'1", 6'2"? Or is he in the 5'4"? Is Edge 6'4"? You're kidding me.
No, he's a legitimate 6'4".
Which is why he has so much appeal to Vince.
God damn.
What are you gonna do? I don't have hair like that. My boyfriend does, though. No. As you were saying.
Oh, boy. It's going downhill quick here at the Voices of the Voiceless podcast.
It is episode 61. Voices of the Voiceless on iTunes and Podbean and also on Twitter. And you know what? It was a good week in wrestling. Overall, I think SmackDown made up for what Raw did terribly. We'll hear from Deni and Petro later. He texted me earlier today and said, I've sent you my heel list. I said, what do you mean by that? He says, you'll see. And I again, Ooh. You're right. And to add to always that spontaneity, I never listened to it before the show.
I like that. I don't think we should. I like how it's kind of like opening a gift on Christmas.
Yeah, but Santa's Dean, and nobody wants that. Dean's a heel. He's a natural heel, and he always will be. He'll never be a face. He never works babyface. He only works heel, as you've come to find out. Even though you two agree on literally everything, I digress. We had Raw, we had SmackDown, and we had Edge, and we had The Undertaker. So before we get into Raw, without giving away your true opinions, did you think The Undertaker was going to be used at the way he did before he showed up? I certainly did not. I didn't read the rumors if they were even out beforehand.
Yeah, well, no twerps on the internet had that one, but
No.
no, I did not anticipate that, I must say.
Yeah, which, at the grand scheme of things, isn't that what wrestling's all about? The shock factor, the surprise.
Yeah, like, for example, I was shocked and surprised when he could walk without a cane.
Listen, that was the girl's cane in that picture. She was letting him hold it. Said every idiot ever. Whatever. So we had a request from a fan. His name is Funky Moses, Derek Abbott, on Twitter, to start doing more reviews of the shows with one of us not watching it. Now, I'm not opposed to that idea. I would love to not watch Raw every week. I don't know about you. Here's the thing. If we want to do that, I would say it has to be Raw. SmackDown's is too good not to watch. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. I'll take the hit and watch Raw if you don't want to watch it. Because I'm a total team player. And I'll tell you what happened, and we'll get your surprise reaction from all of the major happenings.
Are you on the since you're a team player, you're on the tightest brand, right? The brand
I am
to end all brands. Titus should start his own wrestling brand away from everyone. Forever.
Hey, he just picked up a big win on Superstars this week as we record this.
Did he really? Against who?
He beat Curtis Axel. Who they have done nothing with after his special little moment in Minnesota. Well, yeah,
because Vince didn't want him to have that, so he buried him. Whatever. That's how she goes, I suppose. So there was Monday Night Raw, and let's chat. Because there were so many terrible moments, because Edge came back, I'm in a mood for positivity. No, not the New Day. They're not good anymore. But I mean positivity because we were graced with the presence of the Asheville native as we speak. And I think we should focus on the positive moments. For example,
Chris Jericho. This is going to be a very short podcast.
It might be. Well, we have SmackDown to fill that. Let's talk about Chris Jericho for a moment. Now, Y2J had a special moment near the end of Raw. It was actually in I think it's Seg 11, the main event of the show. He is now known as Mr. November, and the reason I say that, he put someone on the list not once, not twice, but 3 times. Never been done before. Might never happen again.
I thought Chris Jericho was great, and
of course.
As usual, he was the highlight of Raw.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that.
That's pretty much all of Raw that you
enjoyed. Yeah. Now, tell me, one thing you probably noticed about Raw, just a general talking point here, is as we're heading into Survivor Series, the go-home show of Raw, and the theme of the entire show seems to be, we've got a match at Survivor Series, we've got the team together, but we don't get along, and we're going to have to fight each other in a match tonight. Didn't really make a lot of sense, and I thought it was pretty unoriginal to use the same exact scenario for every match involving Raw superstars. So it's not positive, but I had to say it anyway.
Well, you're right. They're trying to create competition within themselves, which doesn't make any sense. You have kayfabe, of course. You have to take what you have and roll with it, not pin them against each other. These 5 guys already have a beef with one another in a certain way. Overall, whether it's Beef, Stromanoff, or it's Seth, or it's Chris or Kevin, they all have something to hate about each other. Why put them together in a match against it? Like for what? Unless there was something on the line. like if the winner of that match is now the team captain, and that actually meant something. Now there is a match that I can get involved in because it'll have implications that could impact the whole reason they're together, and that's the Survivor Series match. Other than that, there is or the one that gets pinned. If the one that gets pinned goes out first, kind of like a Royal Rumble style, who's going to be the dreaded number one? Well, what if the someone that lost was the first person to enter in the match? Wouldn't that make more sense? Because then there's a consequence on the negative side of it. They just made the match to make the match. And not only that, the New Day faced off against who again? Chris, Braun, and Seth? Okay. And Sheamus and Cesaro faced off against Roman and Kevin. I think that's the right show.
Yeah.
Why? What does that prove? You have so many people on that damn roster that it could have been done elsewhere. Put them in matches that'll benefit them. Have Roman and Kevin defeat two schmucks, or make Cesaro and Sheamus do something creative or clever in a 2-on-2 or a 2-on-1. Let them show off their creativity. Something. I don't know. It was a mistake.
Yeah. What about the abominable Strowman ripping up Jericho's $750 scarf?
That was a good segment. I enjoy, and they let Braun actually do something. That was cool.
Yeah, they're presenting him better. I just still don't care for him at all. I hate that they're pushing him so strong, but they have actually. They're finally presenting him in a much better way. He's a very, very large man, obviously, which Vince loves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're continuing to build him very strong. In fact, he was all over this show, and numerous appearances, and was positioned very strongly.
Well, it's about time. Except for fighting 430 pounders every week, it made sense. Vince actually knew what he was doing. He was preventing his biggest guy physically in a big spotlight, and that's what you're supposed to do. Moving on from the men to the women. This whole women's, I'll call it an abomination. This whole women's abomination doesn't make sense, does it?
Oh, it's terrible.
But the Smackdown team makes perfect sense. This, I don't know where they're going with it. Bayley is a nobody. Well, she doesn't get to wrestle.
I mean, they're basically going with another Sasha and Charlotte rematch, it looks like. And,
of course they are.
I mean, I don't want to see that. I mean, they have just fucked up. They have the most women's star power on Raw, and they have just fucked it up so badly. The SmackDown women are just presented so much better. And it just makes no sense. And the division is essentially Sasha and Charlotte, and everybody else is second tier. And, it's presented very poorly.
It absolutely is. So Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke and Bayley. So right now it's Sasha, Charlotte, and then everybody else 100 yards away. There's no in between. Where Bayley should be up there with the three of them. And they tried to make a salute to that after the tag because Bayley came in and was supporting them, and it was Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte with their hands raised at the end of it. Right? Dana and Foxy and Nia were just in the corner. Okay? They weren't really doing anything. And I don't know I don't know where they're going with it. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't think they do either. So that would make sense. Yeah. So, how about the cruiserweight division?
I fast forward.
They apparently have their own special part of the locker room as they were all grouped up together watching Brian Kendrick stand up on something and give them a speech that was apparently the State of the Cruiserweight address. Wow.
And Sin Cara,
how stupid was this?
Sin Cara does what he best. He started backstage fights.
Well, yeah, he objected to it, and obviously he punched him in the face, which is what he seems to do. So it's like a
punch.
The shoot fight champion of the WWE, Sin Cara, Why is he in the cruiserweight division? The man should be in the heavyweight division.
I want to see JBL versus Sin Cara in a backstage shoot fight. I want it recorded and taped on all different angles, and the loser has to get his bag shit in by Randy Orton. That has to happen. If that doesn't happen,
Yeah, it has to happen. Sin Cara in the shower. JBL sexually harasses him, and Sin Cara just knocks his block off. What a segment that would be.
That would get 1 million views on YouTube. That's what kind of segment it would be. So yeah, we had.
But now it's like I just want to say, okay, and this goes back to the point I've been making about the cruiserweights for many weeks, and that's that. Here they are again in the locker room. They're all by themselves. So once again, the message you're receiving as the audience is, oh, here's the cruiserweights who are not as good as everybody else. They're off to themselves. They're not mainstream. They're not part of the other roster, with all of the stars. It doesn't do them any favors to continue to subliminally send that message to the audience. And so it's just stupid. And so, yeah, I just ended up hitting fast forward.
Me too. Could you tell that meeting with the cruiserweights was filmed in like a 3-foot broom closet, but they made the angle so it felt like they were really tall?
Well, Vince said, they're small, so they should be able to all change in a broom closet, no problem. Apparently,
either that or that's Mick Foley's office. They don't give him an office; it's a closet.
Yeah.
Boy. You know what? I think the most exciting part of Raw was the State of the WWE Universe address after the fact. That was more entertaining than the goddamn show. And what a segment!
Yeah,
we'll talk. Did you finally watch it? I told you to watch it because it was very good.
Yeah, I have not.
Oh, come on. Then there's nothing else. Okay.
Well, that's fun. Now you can, but that's a great example of Derek's point here. You can actually talk about it when the time is right and walk me through it, right? And I'll give you my live reaction.
with whatever that's going to be. All right. So Sami Zayn beat Bo Dallas, even though Bo Dallas was riding a little bit of a win streak as a new heel. Zayn beat him in 2.5 minutes and had a good promo saying that it doesn't matter who, I'm going to beat Miz or Ziggler, which changed. So Zayn, that was that. So, I'm looking at Forbes and their review. I love their headline. Brian Kendrick doesn't have the locker room's respect. All 6 of them. as the cruiserweight paper champion. That's good. No respect there. So the New Day gets squashed by Braun Strowman. I think Big E was a little bit pissed off. They had a backstage, and it looked like this is on YouTube. It actually seemed like they were pretty upset because they haven't lost in 3 years. That's what happens when you're not as charismatic as you once were. Sorry to break it to you early. Damn shame. But you know what? There is Francesca 2.0 Turbo. It's gold now. And he still can't fit it up his own ass. So we've reached an impasse.
Emphasis on the word ass. Yeah.
So Sasha and Charlotte, they don't like each other. It was a backstage. We get it. Brian Kendrick beats Sin Cara. Enzo and Cass faced off again against, but not the way you thought. It was Enzo and Cass and the Club Sandwich versus, let's see, the Puerto Rican travel agents and the Odd Couple. I fast forwarded the whole thing.
I fast forwarded. In fact, I have fast forwarded Raw so much lately. Remote control doesn't work anymore. I can no longer fast forward.
So you're screwed either way. So are you doing Raw backwards? Or are you just rewinding through it to stop and see which parts you want to watch? That would be the way to go if you're having problems with that. Goldberg and Brock.
How about Goldberg? Yeah, Dad Bod, Berg, and Brock Lesnar. Wow, the tension. You could cut it with a steak knife.
I thought you were going to say a butter knife um, because the tension was not high, and in fact, uh, the whole thing was 7 cruiserweights. All they were doing was sitting there staring into the outer space, while Paul Heyman was getting upset because someone was bullying him, and Goldberg was yelling. Which, by the Goldberg is still a decent promo. I gotta say, he's upped his game since WCW.
Oh, he has, but I have to say it was kind of funny though because it was a very southern sort of accent and language that he's using.
Where's he from? Is he from the South?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Well, that's okay. It's just an accent. Who cares? It's a dialect. So what? Doesn't matter. He's gonna lose anyway. So that was the whole segment. And in fact, according to my fine friends at NBC Sports, Goldberg got hurt. Did you know this?
Yes. Yes, he tweaked his shoulder, and he said he felt like hell, and he hasn't even had a fucking match yet. And that is why I said it, and write it down, that this match is going to be a bit of a fucking disaster.
So this is the quote that he had with NBC Sports following his Raw appearance with Brock Lesnar. He says, and I quote, "My body feels horrible. I tweaked my shoulder last night on Raw, but that doesn't mean in 5 days that I'm not going to come out kicking ass and taking names like I always do." No, you won't. Because did they even get into a scrap? I think he tweaked his shoulder taking his shirt off. That's a problem. That's a big one that they need to fix. They need to fix that 5 years ago because he should have came back 5 years ago. However,
did you notice how bad Brock Lesnar's physique looks now that he's off the juice? Goldberg was actually in better shape than Brock Lesnar.
Brock wasn't puffy. I just think that he's doing okay. He's doing all right. He's Brock. He can kick both of our asses backwards. So I can't say anything wrong about the man. Good for him.
Well, I would beg to differ because I would shoot him the first second he tried, and I'm very, very accurate with the firearm.
Now, tell me, in movies, in video games, isn't that the answer always just shoot the person that needs to save the world? Just kill him. Shoot him with a gun.
Shoot first.
Home Alone.
Ask questions later.
What did little Macaulay Culkin get away with? Everything. Why? Because Joe Pesci and I forget the other guy's name. They're idiots. All they had to do was get a gun and shoot him in the forehead, and the movie's over. It's
oh my god!
It's like Gilligan. Build the damn boat. Get off the fucking island. The series is over after 2 episodes. You're welcome.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, really. Or Friends. Someone put Ross and Rachel in a damn room, let them make out for a little bit, and discuss their differences after she leaves a wedding. I hope you've watched Friends. If this would make perfect sense. The whole show would have been done in 1 episode, but there are exceptions. Boy Meets World should have had 37 seasons. In fact, it should still be going now. But I'm not going to get into that tonight. Feel very passionate.
Yeah, thankfully.
Anyway, shut up. Anyway, Goldberg Lesnar was okay. It wasn't bad. It was all right. So yeah, Sasha Charlotte.
I thought it really, in all seriousness, I thought it was the best job they've done so far with the two of them.
You're right.
But this whole, step on the gas to 90 miles an hour in the go home show when you haven't necessarily done a whole lot before that, it's still kind of weak.
I will say that
still going to be
that was the better it was, and I think it's going to be a better go home. It was a better go home than go homes in months past. Normally, their last show is just the worst out of all of them because they undo everything that they previously did already to make it interesting. It ruins everything. It doesn't make it interesting at all.
Yeah. By the way, how boring has Kevin Owens' championship run been? Oh my god.
Don't tweet that or you'll get yelled at, Brad. You can't say those things. Like Seth and Nakamichi are the 2 greatest in-ring wrestlers right now. You can't just say stuff like that.
It is boring.
It's bad. He doesn't even get a pop anymore. Jericho
No,
has...
they called his name in the beginning segment. They called his name and he got no reaction.
Jericho has quite literally scooped his heat and turned it into positivity. It's true. If Jericho wasn't there, first of all, I don't think it'd be nearly as good, but Kevin isn't interesting by him. He's not interesting with Jericho. It's all Jericho. Kevin has some good one-liners, but that's it. That is it.
Yeah. And Jericho's on a month-to-month deal now.
Yes, he is. He was supposed to be done at Mania in March, but he felt that his run was good, so he kept going. And thank God, he can never leave. The show would be so dull without him, and I think
there's no reason
that.
to watch the show.
No.
Well, he actually said that this run he's on right now solidified himself as a legend.
It has. It absolutely has. They should give him the title, let him beat Kevin, and let him feud for a while. I don't see why that's a problem. Because at the end of the day, Kevin will get put over, and he'll actually look better if you put him with a guy like Chris. They should have done that. It's too late now.
Oh, I agree. They absolutely should have had already, Kevin turn on him and Chris go full face, and then they have a feud. And frankly, I'd much rather see Jericho with the title right now. And I'm not normally a big proponent of the part-time guys or the old guys winning the title, but I think, he's the most over thing they have right now on Raw.
I don't know. It's not even close. Well, they also don't have a choice. So let's just let that go by the wayside for now. The main event, right? We had the Authority management on Raw. It's Steph and Mick Foley alongside their counterparts from Smackdown, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. This was, up until the wrestlers came out, this is basically a yelling match to see whose ego was bigger. And what did you think about this?
I thought, they can't help but make SmackDown look weak every chance they have. That's what I thought.
You're damn right. But what do you do? What are your alternatives? Honestly. Have the wrestlers come out and talk and cut a promo by themselves? Yeah, that could have happened. But it happened after the yelling match took place. It wasn't gone. It didn't do what they wanted it to do. The wrestlers came out and did what they wanted to do, which was fight. That's what you're supposed to do. So you have the back and forth, and then all of a sudden, the wrestlers come out. Steph kind of blindsided Shane because Daniel can't fight anymore because Vince doesn't want him to because he'll be over than the entire company, and nobody needs that. SmackDown then comes out, and there's a couple promo battles back and forth, and then Braun beats everybody up. Roman goes over everyone. And that's the end of that. But Roman's not a main eventer, Brad. He's the U.S. title champion. He's the U.S. champion.
Yeah, and he always comes out last, and he always gets over on everybody. And it's like, they're not fooling anybody with that shit. So
nope. Well, are you ready for Roadblock?
Yeah, Reigns is probably going to win the title.
So we'll have the third undisputed champion ever. Jericho did it first. Now it's going to be Roman Reigns. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, and a quick sidebar, Roadblock is in Pittsburgh. I will be attending. And as of right now, it is Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins in a non-title match. And you have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So it's... I hope he doesn't win it. Jesus Christ.
It's bad, huh?
It's so bad because he's just... And I don't want to be a Dave Meltzer and get on these Roman Reigns rants that he does, but he's just not the guy. It's not working. They just continue to double down, and it's just not going to be fun or exciting. So I guess, I mean, that's that.
As
Looking more and more like getting rid of Baron out of this fucking match was a good idea. I mean, I think Raw's going to win, and we'll talk about that more later. But I just think, wow, whatever.
yeah,
It was interesting. I mean, me, if I was booking this, right, and I had to have the 5 guys confront each other, which I understand in the Go Home show, why not have all of these guys fight and no team gets over on one another, because it's so cliche and so stupid, right?
yeah.
It's like, oh, it's 50-50. Oh, one group gets over and the other on Raw. Then on SmackDown, the other group gets over. That just makes it stupid for the match. You want to sell the match now. How am I supposed to believe that SmackDown can win this match after watching that? So
You can't.
Right. So have them fight. No specific team gets over, but the referees come out and security comes out and they break these guys up. Remember the old brawl with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar? Was it Undertaker?
No, John Cena and Brock.
No. Where they were fighting backstage and the whole roster's trying to break them up.
Yes, Undertaker, Brock.
Yeah. Yes. Why not have something like that? Where you have all 5 versus all 5. They're all fighting all over the place. And nobody gets over on one another, but it's brutal, it's violent, and security and officials have to break it up.
It's too easy.
You get the action, you get the tease, and then you still wonder who could win.
It's just
I think it's a win-win that way.
It is, but like I said, it's too easy. It's been done before, but Raw has to go over. But Brad, it's okay. The women got over on SmackDown. It's an even trade, if you will. I look at these 10 people outside of Shane. I would say only 3 of them actually look like legitimate stars. 4, I'll say 4, including Jericho. Jericho, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton. That's it. None of the other ones look like legitimate wrestling stars that can be popular.
Yep.
Can you agree with that? Is those 3, right? 4. Those 4.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
And 3 out of the 4 are on the SmackDown roster. Bray, unfortunately, Braun, Seth, Roman, and Kevin don't look like real stars. Bray could look like a real star if he was given the chance.
Yeah, they've blown him so bad, but SmackDown's trying to rebuild them with Randy Orton and the Wyatt family, which is nice, but
yeah, it is nice.
So
that was Raw. Now on to what happened on the State of the WWE address real quick. Basically what it was, and I think on Twitter you kind of put it into perspective when I tweeted at you about the Daniel Bryan interaction. They actually, so it was their segment was like 15 minutes, I would say, maybe 17 minutes, because Paul was the first part of the program, and he promoted the Goldberg match pretty well, like he might be the best promoter of all time. So he did his thing and he left, and then it was Shane and Steph, and Mick and Daniel Bryan. Renee Young was the moderator. Renee Young kept talking about Sunday, and Daniel Bryan and Mick Foley would get off track. And then Renee would chime in, "Oh, come on!" And then Stephanie would always come back. Well, this Sunday you're gonna. And then Daniel and Mick would go back and forth. And Steph's like, "What matters is this Sunday." So you could tell she was trying to reel them in, because Renee couldn't do a fucking thing. It was all based on that, and I thought it was kind of funny because Steph did not get involved.
Yeah, I heard
whatsoever.
from a lot. Yeah, no, a lot of people have said it was a total disaster. They were off topic, and Stephanie kept trying to get them on topic, and it didn't work, and it got heated. And Brian made a comment about Mick wrestling in TNA, and
yep,
Brian is
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, talking smack, and Raw cannot touch this guy.
No,
he gets up talking smack and breathes hot fire every week. I mean, this is amateur hour.
It really is. And it's so funny. Like, I don't think Daniel gives a shit. Are they really going to fire the guy?
I don't think he does either.
Like, honest to God, are you going to fire Daniel Bryan? you're out of your fucking mind if you fire your most popular personality in that entire company. You would never dare to do that. And if Vince does, he's an idiot. And I don't think he is. But like the line was, he's like, well, Daniel's like, wait a second, didn't you quit being GM before in 2000 and I forget what year it was, like 2003, 2004? And because Mick was talking about how much he loves this job and doesn't do it just for the paycheck. And Daniel's like, really? Is that why you went and wrestled in TNA and then came back? I loved it. And not only that, I can't remember the word for word, but there was a point in time where Stephanie was ostracizing SmackDown for Land of Opportunity. And Daniel Bryan came back with like a really quick one-liner and something along the lines of, oh, really? Do you really think I'd be doing this job if I could be out there wrestling? But no, you're not letting me have that opportunity at all, are you? And it was real.
Yeah.
Whether it was a work shoot or not, it was getting very, very emotional for on Daniel's end.
You know, I heard Mick was pissed. Like at one point, he was not happy, and it got heated.
You seriously need to go back and watch it. It's only 15 minutes. I played on here the whole thing, but it's too long. But Dan was you could not say enough about Brian. He does not care. He'll say whatever the fuck he wants and be on with it. What did he say about New Day? I gotta pull this quote up.
Basically, how they weren't that great because they lose so many non-title matches. And it's funny because earlier in the same day, actually, I had made a tweet beforehand about New Day never being better than Demolition, whose record it looks like they're going to break, because Demolition never lost so many matches while they were champions. But you look at New Day, they've lost a ton of non-title matches, and they're going to essentially be the weakest, longest reigning tag champs of all time in WWE.
Outside of maybe London and Kendrick. But then again, they wrestled all the time, and they won.
And, yeah, they didn't lose as much as the New Day. So
You're right. And so Daniel Bryan said, I honestly think that every single one of our tag teams are better than the Raw Tag Team Champions. They lose like every non-title match. Yeah, I want to get the Daniel Bryan TNA quote out. That stole the entire show. He also called Cesaro Claudio on accident.
Yeah.
So he was on full shoot mode. Oh wait, here it is. Hold on. Someone do my best. And you hold on. Here it is, everybody.
Care about my job, and I come in and do my best, and you can't hold it against me that I would rather be in the ring wrestling than being the general manager, because 2001 when you quit, what did you do? You went to TNA and you went to wrestle.
Whoops. Vince blowing a gasket backstage. Oh boy, and yeah.
Wait,
and that's why SmackDown's Talking Smack show is so good, and that's why it's such a mistake to move it to the 11 o'clock hour. Man, because it's such a favorite of people who enjoy SmackDown.
Oh wait, just one more time. Hold on. Wait, where'd it go?
About my job, and I come in and I do my best, and you can't hold it against me that I would rather be in the ring wrestling than being the general manager, because 2001 when you quit, what did you do? You went to TNA and you went to wrestle.
He just jumped up at like 11 spots in my favorite wrestler book after that.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news for Daniel after that one.
You just made the list.
Oh, poor guy. There's no way. He's on my list of favorites right now. That's amazing. I just love a guy that doesn't give a damn. Imagine a shoot podcast between Colt Cabana, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk. That shit would go viral.
That'd be interesting for sure.
Either way, so, that was Raw. That was the state of WWE.
That was Raw. What did you think about this Intercontinental Championship match? Ziggler and The Miz, the rematch.
So I'm indifferent, and my internal reaction was to be upset about it because like Dolph did so much to get it, and all Miz had to do was have his wife shove him in the ass to win. But I'm trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel because SmackDown has proved and has earned my trust that they can do something right when given time. Okay, given that, I'll say this. If the rumors are true, it looks like Miz or the Intercontinental's being won by Sammy and going to going to Raw. And they needed a heel to lose it. They didn't want Ziggler to lose it to Sami Zayn. Because they want Sammy, I'm assuming, to be more legitimate than he is, because he needs a boost.
And he needs to stop working a second job as a cab driver. He needs that pay raise from being champion.
All right, sidebar. Cole Cabana was on one of my favorite podcasts this week, and somebody brought up a YMCA, and he's like, me and Evan Bourne got sponsored by the YMCA or like a free subscription. And then the host goes, well, why? He's like, well, Evan Bourne and I didn't make enough money as WWE wrestlers, so we got a free YMCA membership. And that wasn't, and he was an FCW. I thought it was really funny.
Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah. So as far as that goes, we'll see where it goes. I want to see what this makes. I just don't know. I don't know. What if Shane isn't actually in the 6-man or the 12 or the 10-man, I guess, and like they take him out backstage and Ziggler takes his place and is the sole survivor again. There's things you could do.
I think the match was good, and I was surprised Miz won, to be honest.
Me too.
I did like how they did it. If Miz was going to win, that was just
it was getting heat.
Classic heel. But here's the thing, I only wanted this to happen if they were really going to go somewhere with it, and this again, when they start cross-branding shit, this is what happens. You start fucking things up. And I'm afraid that it's like you mentioned, Sami Zayn is going to beat The Miz, and then this was all for nothing, and it's totally stupid. What happens with the U.S. title then? Is there the U.S. title stay on Raw, and SmackDown just has the Cruiserweight title?
I don't know. What if the Cruiserweight...
And no secondary title?
What if the U.S. or the TV title comes back?
Okay, that could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the end game is here, and I just really question it. But and SmackDown's been writing well, but this is not about SmackDown. This is about Vince or whoever is in charge of booking this particular show. So
it is.
No, no, it was good for what it was. I liked it. I like Miz as champion. I think continues to be fantastic. I'm just concerned they're going to just totally fuck everything up here and just have Sammy beat him, which I think is a mistake.
Well, hey, we'll find out. We'll find out. What did you think of the women? I gotta say, this women's match was booked to perfection. I loved the aftermath of it, and not only that, but Nia Jax did a barricade spot that I gave her a round of applause.
Jesus.
That took some balls, no, figuratively. That was I'm sure that hurt like hell. But I thought it was. I kind of marked out for that.
Yeah, she's bigger than a lot of the cruiserweights, and so
right.
Yeah, she was able to do it. Good for her, I guess. And we'll see what happens, but I like how they're presenting the SmackDown women, and you know what? This is fine for what it was.
Yeah.
I don't like the cliche of, oh, you're coming to our show and then we get the upper hand and blah blah blah. But it's just a shame because I'd love to see the SmackDown women win, and I just think they're presented so much better. But it is what it is. So yeah,
it was good.
How about Kalisto defeating Oni Lorcan in his Smackdown debut.
Fast forwarded. Should I have? I think it was a dick move.
No, I mean, you probably should have. I mean, whatever. Yeah, what else? Okay, we had the tag match, which was whatever.
Babe, breaking news? Seriously, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. A new ECW show is officially debuting on the network in 2017.
What?
Yes! Yes! Breaking news.
Breaking news?
Yeah, breaking news. It's on a Facebook page, and there was no rumor next to it. No rumor at all. I'm trying to find the tweet where it was.
I don't.
Taz? Did Taz tweet that? What's wrong with that?
I don't see that anywhere. Huh?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Bubba Ray Dudley on Twitter. It says a sign of things to come with Heyman, Hustle, Tommy Dreamer, and official Taz on Twitter. What else would that mean? And that was rumored for a few days now, so that has to be it, right?
What kind of a show?
I don't know.
A wrestling show or a reality show or?
Would you really think Tommy Dreamer and Taz would do a reality show? Come on.
I don't know what the hell they would. Taz has got his own radio show on CBS. Why the hell would he be doing this?
I don't know. It has to be something good then. That or the pay must be
I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We can't confirm anything at this point, but it sounds like something's going to happen.
And hey, if Paul Heyman's a part of it, it must be pretty decent. We'll find out. I'm sure they'll do a release. You know what? I bet you they're going to debut something at Survivor Series during like a commercial, which is what they normally do anyway. Like what's coming up on the network.
Yeah,
that might be there. So we'll see. We'll see. Last but not least.
Well,
How good did Becky Lynch look though? Right. Don't make jokes.
I'm not going to make jokes.
Good.
Going to make jokes. So I'm just not going to say anything.
Good. It's better that way. It's much better that way. It was the final segment, and let me see if did WWE put it up? Tom Phillips, that fucking stooge, talked in front of the beginning of Edge's entrance. I was like, you motherfucker. I was pissed. I was so mad. And that brings me to another point. There should never be a 4-man booth ever. Period.
God, I hate it so bad.
Tom didn't talk the whole fucking show. Why is he there? Why? To look taller?
Yeah, wide stance Tom. But what I would say is get fucking rid of Otunga. He sucks. He adds no value. He's terrible.
He is.
Keep Tom Phillips. Get rid of David Otunga. Go back to a 3-man booth. I mean, the four of them can't even fit at the goddamn booth. It's not big enough. We don't need 4 commentators for a show.
Nope.
What kind of stupid shit is that? We need 2.
Yeah.
Now we have 4. I can't wait till we have 5. Maybe we need 6.
Michael Cole but they're just gonna have a traveling announce team, and it's all 6 of them.
Yeah, 6 fuckers right there. That's right. Everyone specializes in calling a move.
Yeah. Well, for Michael Cole, it's always the Michinoku driver because that's the only move he knows.
Oh my God! It's a Michinoku driver. Will he tap out? No, that's not a submission, asshole.
Didn't he call a body slam a Michinoku driver? And it was someone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. It was really stupid.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
No, he really doesn't. But hey, he's on the creative team, so that. It's so bad. So yeah, the very final segment. Fucking Edge was awesome. called out all the guys. He took a shot at AJ. Played a really good heel. I really liked it. Well, by the way, what did you think of AJ calling Kevin Owens sugar tit on Raw?
I thought that was funny. I did.
So did I.
It was probably written by Kevin Dunn, but I enjoyed it.
Well, it's sugar tit and sparkle crotch. Vince immediately came in his pants. He's like,
Oh,
that's
yes.
that's so funny. Oh, man.
No, I thought, what I thought here actually is that SmackDown just outshined the Raw roster so glaringly obvious.
They did.
I mean, seriously.
And the crowd, and even Steph. I think Stephanie. It was a shoot when she's like, "You're at Raw," and they're cheering for SmackDown. Yeah. So you paid to come here.
Yeah, the SmackDown guys are so much better.
They
mean, and Dean was great how he's pacing and then he just swings and they start brawling. I mean, Dean was just like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Yeah,
the SmackDown guys just presented it really. I mean, they were just they're just in every way they're just better than the Raw team, I think, and it's just one of those situations where the Raw guys are the favorites and the SmackDown guys are really better. And
but I guarantee you, someone tweeted at me like, "What are your predictions for Survivor Series?" I said Raw goes over all of them except for the cruiserweight. Roman ends strong. Sole Survivor. I call it like I see it.
Yeah, well, probably. Okay, so we've kind of gone back off topic to Raw, and we're going back to the SmackDown. They all start arguing.
Yeah.
We've got the TLC match in a couple of weeks or so with Dino and AJ, which should be good.
Yep.
And they are arguing when out comes The Undertaker at a snail's pace. I showered, shaved, and shit. Came back, got something to eat, and he was still halfway to the ring.
All you narcissistic assholes are going to miss him when he's gone forever. So fuck off.
Which looks like it will be soon, judging by his appearance.
No, he's fine. So yes, Taker then says that WrestleMania will no longer define him, and if someone blows it for SmackDown, he's going to come after you. Now, according to rumors that
dun, dun, dun.
AJ Styles and Undertaker will fight for the title at Royal Rumble.
And Undertaker wins and faces John Cena, who wins number 16 at WrestleMania and retires the Undertaker. And then I fucking choke myself.
Sounds right to me. But yeah, that might happen. So Daniel Bryan said on Talking Smack, he's like, "Did you hear what I heard? It sounds like he's back," which is cool. If it's one, a lot of people are skeptical about this. Here's my perspective. Yeah, he's been in the industry for 20 years. Yeah, he should have retired a few years ago. Maybe he should have. Maybe he shouldn't have. But
there's hell. He's been in the business for fucking ever. I mean, he's been in the WWE for fucking 26 years. That doesn't include WCW. I mean, the guy's, he's been in wrestling forever.
Yeah, 28, 30 years, and he's what, 49? Right? Is he 50 on the nose?
He's literally about to turn 50, I think, next month or something, very soon.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been in the industry about 28, 29 years. It's good for SmackDown because of ratings and money and merch. That's about it. If he puts over somebody in the process, great. It isn't like they have a rookie 23-year-old fucking hot piece of shit from NXT in developmental carrying them into the next generation. They have AJ Styles doing. He's 38 years old. All right. Yeah. Taker won't bury anybody. That's not how SmackDown does things so far. They don't bury anybody except for Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. By the way, he lost again on Superstar.
Well, now you can download Apollo Crews on 2K17 and make him win for real. so go ahead and do that. But it's good for wrestling. Undertaker needs to have one final full-time run. He hasn't been full-time in 5 years, right? about 2010 ish.
Yeah, quite a few years. I mean, here's the thing. This is probably his last run, right? I mean,
It
so
is.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, him coming back is fine because this is just. I mean, you're probably talking, 4, 5-ish months. It's his final run, and then he's gone forever. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fine with it. I think that gives SmackDown a little boost if he stays on SmackDown, and as long as he's not burying some of their top talent, like I would have Baron Corbin beat him. Fuck John Cena.
You know what? We'll see. Okay, we'll see. I know that's your dream, so we'll see. So it's good for wrestling to have him back. And while I understand that he should just be gone and leave forever, I understand. I'm not an idiot, but you have to think of the big picture, not just who they're trying to put over. Did you know what the Raw or the SmackDown rating was? Not the rating, but the viewership was last night.
No, I have not taken a look at that, but I did see.
So the Raw,
the
Raw. Oh my God, the Penguins lost 7-1. Oh dear, that's bad. Ugh. Anyway, so let me look at the SmackDown viewership was way up from last week, only because the election wasn't happening. And this week, dun, 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 dun. All right, PW Torch, like open your fucking website. So,
by the way, Wade Keller sucks. All those guys suck. Fuck
them. Thanks. So SmackDown had a 1.95 rating. Pretty damn good for SmackDown, right? Okay. Not bad. 2.567 million people tuned in. Raw had 1.98 rating and had 2.7 million.
Still staying very competitive with Raw.
Very.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if the Undertaker stays on SmackDown. We'll see what happens. Maybe
sure.
Edge him out.
And how about that crowd in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania last night, huh? How about that?
Great crowd.
They were hot, and they weren't fucking douchebag marks.
Yeah, I enjoyed them.
I did too. I'm glad they were there. I really am. So let's. That was Raw and SmackDown. I have not gotten to watch Talking Smack yet. I heard it was good. I don't even know who was on, to be honest with you, but I thought it was okay. What about you? SmackDown clearly overshadowed it. Had a much better. They should have had a better rating. They actually know how to utilize part-time guys, unlike Raw.
Yeah, I liked it overall. I think there's no Baron Corbin. They got to keep him relevant, and he's not at Survivor Series anymore, so that's fine that he missed a show because he's quote unquote injured. But when Survivor Series is over, they only have 2 weeks until TLC. 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah,
I mean they have got to stop having so many goddamn pay-per-views every. Ridiculous. How can you build a show when you have 2 weeks?
I think if anybody can, I think it's SmackDown.
But it's just stupid. It's just dumb, and they don't care because it's just the network, and it's all just free, and it's not really a pay-per-view. They don't care. It's just another show, and it's obvious. But Jesus Christ, dude, they got to get Baron Corbin back in the mix as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And do something with them. So. Anyway, that was my thoughts on SmackDown. Let's review NXT TakeOver Toronto real quick.
Well, wait. We have Dean.
What? Oh, we have a run-in.
Oh, I previewed it earlier. Of course we have a run-in. I may have
just made the list.
Well, luckily it's pre-recorded. But, sorry, secret's out. All right, so after the week that was in wrestling, whether you liked it or you did not, Dean has something special for all of you, little boys and girls trying to hide from Ric Flair. Here we go.
Brad Shepard, John Fisher. You just made the list. Do you know why you made the list? I'm listening to the Voices of the Voiceless podcast last week. I'm listening to you talk about Raw. I'm listening to you talk about SmackDown. I'm pretty sure I heard you talk about TNA, ROH, New Japan, maybe PWX. Then
you get to me, then you get to the list. And then it's like, well, yeah, we talked about that. Oh, we talked about that. Oh, we talked about that. We're talking about it now. We're talking about what's on the list now. You're on the list. Now, for the real list, it's actually a short list this week. And actually, John Fisher, you just made the list again. And because you probably guys have already dissected Raw. If you thought Raw was a bad show, you just made the list.
Oh, well.
But if you didn't, you're only on the list once. Raw was not a bad show this week. We are so preconditioned to hating Raw right now that I think everything that they put up is getting over-criticized.
No.
Raw was a decent show this week. It didn't blow the doors off like the Pittsburgh show, the first one of the new era, but it was decent. It moved things. It had storyline. It had advancement. It had good stuff. It had little things like Sami Zayn getting a squash match leading up to his chance at the Intercontinental Championship. Things like that. Little things that worked. The thing at the end with the Smackdown superstars and everything else, good stuff.
No.
The State of the Union, great stuff. Paul Heyman selling a match, he's fantastic. But wait, this is the list. Bill Goldberg. Oh, wait, let me do this again. Oldberg. You just made the list. Dude, you're blowing up still when you hit the ring, sweating. Oh my God. And now it comes out that you may have hurt your shoulder. That's real nice. And by the way, the World Wrestling Entertainment promotional staff, you just made the list because every single promotional picture you have been showing for Goldberg Lesnar is showing Goldberg from 1998 with no gray in his little goatee, with his physique from 1998. Hello, guys, a lot older. And finally, the women of Raw and SmackDown, the entire women's division. You just made the list.
Ooh.
Oh.
The Divas Revolution.
Dead.
Women's wrestling now.
Might be dead.
What's it doing?
We don't know.
Did you see them on Talking Smack? Carmella and Nikki Bella laughing as they were insulting each other? Now, granted, they're trying to promote Team Unity. They're trying to be on the same page. But even those snide comments should be getting dirty looks from each other instead of giggles. Come on. Play the part. Your SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, in Talking Smack, had like 2 words to say, and she was talked over. And then your Raw team, now there's talk that the Bayley and Charlotte, and is it Charlotte or Charlotte Flair rivalry, next thing is going to be held off to WrestleMania. So then why did you take the belt off of Sasha in the first place, unless it's the fact that she can't cut a promo to save her life? Even them, Alicia Fox standing next to Nia Jax with no problem at all on the stage. Alicia Fox just sitting there smiling. Come on. The women's division needs to ramp up the intensity. It had a decent start. It's faltering. It's on the list. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was great.
It was.
But I am on the list because I really didn't think Raw was that great. I thought it was kind of boring. It had a couple of good moments, but it was overall boring for me.
I think
so I'm on the list.
I think Dean's forgetting to mention that the entire SmackDown team was buried by Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, but we'll let that go. We'll let that go. And it is what it is. It is what it is, and we're going to see what happens on Sunday, which I'm excited for. So let's review, or not review, but rather predict NXT Toronto real quick, which I need to catch up on NXT before that happens. I doubt I'll be able to do it, but we're gonna. It's a challenge, guys. It's a challenge that I need to do. But I need to go to Wendy's tonight first. Either way. So give me the matches. We're gonna predict them right now.
All right, the Revival versus DIY. 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Tag Team Championship.
Oh man, that sounds good. I would say DIY. I think it's the Revival's turn to come up to the main roster.
Actually, good point. Geez, I'm going to go with DIY, and I think the Revival need to go up to the main roster.
Yep.
I mean, the tag team division is so bad. Man, I would love to see them on SmackDown.
But I see. You know what? I'd rather see them on Raw and beat the New Day before they can break the record. Imagine the heat they would get.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Not maybe.
Authors of Pain were, well, you would have to care about the New Day's title reign, which I really don't at this point.
Good point.
Authors of Pain versus TM61, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. I'm going to say Authors of Pain.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I'm not really a big fan of TM61. I think they're kind of boring. They have unless they've gotten better since I stopped watching in September, then I don't know.
They're not bad. They're just kind of boring generic. They're just kind of not overly something.
Go ahead.
No, they're just kind of there. I mean, there's no real sort of overwhelming charisma, star power, or something really unique about them. Or I mean, they're fine, but
they're kind of like the Cesaro of NXT. They're good in-ring fake fighters.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you're gonna piss the people off with that, but it's all good. Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. Bobby Roode's a company guy. There's never been any bad blood about him backstage in any promotion. I'd say he puts over Dillinger. I do. Ty needs this.
But I'm gonna go with Bobby Roode.
Okay. Really? Okay. I can see it going either way. That match is gonna be, in my opinion, the most fun of the night.
Oh, absolutely. The crowd's gonna be totally into it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Between Roode's, so they're in the Air Canada Center, right? The same site as Survivor Series?
Yeah, they're definitely in Toronto.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if they were in a smaller venue. But that'll be great. They're gonna. I don't. It's that. That's the one I might be most excited for.
Yeah. In Revival and DIY, they're going to have an outstanding match. Don't get me wrong; that could be the best in-ring match of the night. I mean, those guys are going to have a great match. I think Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger. I think they're going to have a really fun match with the crowd participating heavily.
Yeah.
The women's match is going to be interesting for the NXT Women's Championship. Asuka versus Mickie James.
Asuka's winning. There's no doubt.
Yeah, Asuka's winning. I don't think there's any question. I would be just completely shocked if Mickie James won.
Me too.
And then the big main, you got Samoa Joe, the NXT Championship, on the line with Shinsuke and Nakabachi.
Nakamichi in a shoot.
It's Joe and Nakamura for the title, and I'm going to go with Nakamura.
Nakamura, Samoa Joe makes his debut at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough, right? Because they're both older. I mean, they're both older, and either one of them is old enough and experienced enough, obviously, to be in the main roster. So it's kind of a toss-up in that regard.
I would say, Shinsuke stays down there for the marketability. Samoa Joe makes his debut on Sunday. But either way,
I don't know when he'll debut, but I do think, I think you're right. I think Joe goes to the main roster and Nakamura wins. And I think Nakamura's a special sort of charisma, but they've got to test that out on the main roster, and they're just, they're basically just not going to do that. It looks like so.
We'll see.
Who knows?
He'll be there eventually.
We'll see.
But for Survivor Series, let's make our picks.
All right, we've got the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto. If Kalisto wins, SmackDown Live gets the entire Cruiserweight division, and for that reason, I'm picking Kalisto.
SmackDown loses.
Which I think, of course, is just, again, I think it's just stupid booking because they just had TJ Perkins lose to the Brian Kendrick. Going to lose already, just to swap titles on shows. So, yeah, not a big fan of that, but that's what I think is going to happen. And Kalisto, seriously, Kalisto is the option you have right now. You got all these cruiserweights, that are good, and the option is if Kalisto wins. I mean, seriously, fuck Kalisto. So boring.
Very.
Baron Corbin should have squashed him and knocked him right off the roster. Sent him right back to Mexico. Maybe I'll call the deportation force.
call the Shining Stars.
I'll hook him up with a nice travel package to the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. One-way ticket, never to return.
So I put in my wrestling chat. Wouldn't it be amazing if the Revival beat the New Day and didn't have them break Demolition's record? And they're like the Revival. They're like the Revival seriously, and they're like, go to the shame. They're shaming me. And he's like, I will never be anywhere close to your opinions of wrestling. I really want to say what the good opinions of wrestling.
Yeah, if you don't like the Revival, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to say it.
Jesus. Intercontinental Championship match. Dolph Ziggler lost the Intercontinental Championship to The Miz. It will be Miz.
Yeah.
And if Sami Zayn wins the Intercontinental Championship, will be on Raw.
Sami Zayn. Zayn.
God.
Brad, it's an even trade. The SmackDown gets all the cruiserweights. Raw gets the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, they have all the secondary titles, all the secondary heavyweight titles, blah, blah. I mean, it's just, I think it's stupid. Yeah, Sami Zayn. I'll pick Sami Zayn. Begrudgingly, I don't like it.
We'll find out.
So there.
Let's give it a chance.
We have the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series women's elimination match.
Charlotte, Soul Survivor, Raw.
Yeah, I think Raw's going to win, and I think the Soul Survivor is going to be probably 2 to 3 women easily on the Raw team surviving.
Okay.
Including Charlotte.
All right. It's close enough.
Yeah. 10-on-10 traditional Survivor Series tag team elimination match, Raw versus SmackDown.
SmackDown, American Alpha.
Yeah, I think SmackDown's going to win, and I'll agree. American Alpha. Probably the Survivors.
Yep. Now on to the big match that no one cares about. You want to do Goldberg Lesnar first? Do you want to do that last?
Sure. Oh, I don't care. I mean, I think it'll be the last match on, but
yeah.
I don't care if we talk about it first or not.
All right, Brock Lesnar wins in a shoot. Move on.
I actually have been questioning this lately.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Because I initially thought Brock Lesnar has to win. And now I'm just not sure if he's going to. I'm not sure if something's going to happen and Goldberg wins. I don't think it makes sense. I just kind of have a feeling. I'm going to pick Brock Lesnar, and I guess we'll see.
What if Samoa Joe debuts and ruins Lesnar's chance of winning, and it's Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble?
That could be.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Okay, then we've got the match I'm looking forward to the most, probably. The Raw vs. SmackDown live 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series men's elimination match. And I love the SmackDown guys here, but I think Raw's going to win.
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins eliminate Dean Ambrose to win.
Oh, that's a great prediction. I think Roman Reigns is definitely a survivor if there's only one or if there's multiples, he's in there. I don't know who's going to survive. Maybe it is Seth and Roman, but I think Raw's going to win, unfortunately, even though I think SmackDown has the better.
I do too. And so I think, that's about it. Mostly the same opinions and predictions, and we're going to see how it all plays out. It should be an exciting weekend for wrestling, of course. It's about damn time. It's been way too long.
And I don't know if you heard the news, and this is come across the dirt sheets in the last couple of days. He actually had confirmed it himself on Twitter, but Big Van Vader has congestive heart failure and was told he has 2 years to live. And now Mick Foley has started a campaign to get him in the Hall of Fame now.
I can agree.
So
finally, Mick Foley does something right on Facebook.
Yeah, the guy's a blithering fucking idiot. He just, but no, seriously, I mean, I think the timing is right. I think, he is absolutely a Hall of Fame worthy candidate. So, the posthumous inductions there's too many of them. And I think when you have the opportunity and they're a worthy candidate, you should do it. So
I agree. Yeah. Hopefully everything's okay over there. We'll see where it goes. And last but not least, so our intro says that we work Jabroni Marks into a shoot. Well, I succeeded.
Oh boy.
Worked the, you know what? Hold on. Oh.
You think you know me?
I worked the biggest mark in the entire galaxy, Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, into a shoot. I did it.
Boy, that's great. And it's great. Look, people have to realize not to take us, that seriously. If you haven't figured that out by now, we get on here and we joke around and we say some stupid shit and we have fun. And if you take every little thing we say seriously, then you're probably fucking uptight and could crush diamonds with your anus. So, I said that. Okay, so great job, by the way, working Matt Jackson into a shoot. I was jealous, and I couldn't see his tweets because the little peckerhead has me blocked, but you kept sending me screenshots, so kudos.
Long story short, he put up a picture of a fan-sent framed article of the 5-star match written in the Observer newsletter, and I reply back. I gotta get the quote, and I put myself over because of my tweets all the time. But you know what? I think it was much deserved this time. My high school report card meant more than a fake rating to a wrestling match.
Boom.
Let's see if I can. I think did he block me? He blocked me.
Oh yeah. He's got very thin skin. I'm not surprised.
Did I take? I don't think no. I think all of the whatever the screenshots I sent to, I can't find them. He basically said, "You're calling me a mark," and look at your profile. My profile says I work for a television station and I'm a wrestling fan and I have a podcast. And I said, "Of course I'm a mark. I'm not a fucking idiot. We're all marks." And he sends me back a screenshot of them flipping off the camera, but looking off camera so it doesn't look as funny. And then blocked me.
Well, newsflash, Matthew Jackson, because I know your little Mark ass is listening to our podcast right now and steaming fucking mad. And yeah, we're here and we're talking about you, and maybe we'll talk about your mama next.
Well, let's not go too
And
far.
there's nothing you can do about it, brother.
Hey, but his brother Nick didn't block me though.
Actually, oddly enough, when Crybaby Matt blocked me over my article criticizing them in a match in ROH, Matt blocked me, but it took a little bit longer for Nick to block me. But Nick is also very easy to work into a shoot as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right. Anyway, that was the highlight of my week. Where can we find you on the Twitter?
You can find us. We are working Jabroni Marks into a shoot, our official podcast Twitter account, at the VOTV podcast. We're the greatest wrestling podcast out there today, period, end of story. We're like the little hidden secret. And I think we're fucking outstanding. So
way to put ourselves over on the go home. Good job. Yeah, you can follow me at Johnfish Gaming on Twitter, Johnfish3 at Twitch and Facebook Wrestling News Hub. Is there anything else that you have to say before we ride off into the mediocre-driven sunset?
Just one more thing to the Young Bucks, and that is, suck it!
We'll see you all next week.